You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Imaging Services, Chiro Thin, Universal Tractioning Systems, Chiro Moguls, Zingit Solutions, Dr. Pete Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Rhino Coaching, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Chiro Health USA, Max, Mahalo Wellness, and Chiro Expert. Let's hustle.
Good morning, everybody. This is a morning edition of the Chiro Hustle live stream. I have Dr. Peter Goldman with me, actually coming in from Beverly Hills today, not the financial district of San Francisco. And I'm coming in from Grand Junction, which is in the Grand Valley on the western slope of Colorado, which is where no one lives. And I moved here. Why? Because I wanted to hear the damn birds chirp. Today's episode is a sponsorship edition brought to us by Zone School of Healing. If you guys click the link above, it says, listen to Dr. Pete. Just click that link right there. But we titled this one something kind of interesting and kind of cool because I know you've been getting some huge success with people and people that, come to you for XYZ type of concerns, and you're getting results with people that might not have hearing in both ears or might think that they can't eat certain things. So I titled this one, Harvey, Can You Hear Me? And yes, Harvey, you can eat that. And chiropractic is for more than just pain. So Dr. Pete, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jim. I always love to talk to you, and I know we have some cool stuff to talk about, so let's get rolling.
Yeah, first things first. Tim McFadden. Let's talk about this guy. I know he transformed his practice. He joined the Zone School of Healing, and things are going well for him. If you guys want to join the Zone School of Healing, says click the link here, do that, and jump in with Dr. Pete and learn about what Tim McFadden has transitioned into. But let's touch on him a little bit because I know that he was having some hearing issues, and you were able to help him with that.
So Tim McFadden, and he's said all this on his own video, so I'm sure he'd be more than happy for me to say it because he's already said it on video and put it out there. So Tim McFadden was a guy who was an upper cervical doctor in Washington State. He kind of was watching different things I was doing, like things like this with you, and kind of like he was kind of stalking me a little bit. And in fact, he even put some semi-negative comments, not too bad, but semi-negative, when I would say what I would say. And, being an upper cervical doctor from, kind of the BJ philosophy lineage or whatever. But eventually he got fascinated enough and he joined the Zone School. And he has said that it's the best decision he's ever made in his healing career. You could ask him that. And also, I taught a live event in Las Vegas because the Zone School of Healing is an online course. You can learn everything online. I have students, about 370 students around the world. I think by December 31st, we'll have over 1,000 students based on some things I have going right now. But anyway, it's all online. You can learn 100% of it online. However, I do live events. I did one in Atlanta. I did one in Vegas. I'm doing one in Chicago. I'm doing one in Amsterdam, doing one in Germany. But the point is, he did show up at the one in Vegas, and he was already more than thrilled. Like I said, he was an upper cervical doctor, NUCA to be exact, switched his practice over to the zones, is getting 10 times better results, and is extremely happy. With that said, he came to the Vegas event, and I noticed he had hearing. You can't miss it. Someone has hearing aids in their ears. I mean, you see two large hearing aids in their ears. And we decided, I said, okay, let me work on you Saturday and Sunday and let's put this to bed. And he has some kind of app on his phone. I don't know exactly how it works, but there's an app on the phone that kind of measures your hearing with the hearing aid, and it turns the hearing aid on to a certain level or whatever. And by the Sunday afternoon, his hearing aid requirement had dropped to, I don't know, like 1/4 of what it was, something like that. Anyway, he contacted me and said, "Hey, Pete, I want to come down from Washington. I want to spend a couple days with you, observing you in San Francisco." I said, "Okay," and of course we'll finish the job. We'll get these hearing aids obsolete. Let's keep working on you. So he came down. He observed me for a couple days. He was pretty thrilled with that, just as a healer, doctor, chiropractor. And then I worked on him, and he doesn't have hearing aids anymore. I mean, that's the fact. And I was talking to him all weekend like I'm talking to you. I wasn't yelling, and he's not like reading my lips as far as I know. and he can hear. So we had a guy basically who had hearing aids, and I was under chiropractic care for many years because he went to chiropractic school. He was a NUCA doctor, but once he got the zones going on him, he has no more hearing aids. So that's that. Now, I'm going to tell you why that kind of happens with this. Like, for example, I'm going to tell you two more things and kind of answer the question, why the zones can do this. The first thing I want to say is, here's a guy, Tim McFadden, who was getting chiropractic for years and years, upper cervical mostly, but still had hearing aids. Then the zones came along, and now he has no more hearing aids. When I was in chiropractic school, I was already doing the zones, and there was a fellow student in school, this very nice girl, and she had eye infections every month her whole life. So every month she would get an eye infection. She would go to eye doctor, and she'd put eye drops in, and the eye infection would go away. But she had eye infections 12 times a year. I think she was about in her early 20s. I forgot exactly how old she was. But her dad was a DE chiropractor, so she'd been getting adjusted since birth, but didn't make any difference with the eye infections. I was only a student, but I was already pretty good with the zone. I worked on her. She came in, and she had no more eye infections. No more eye infections. There's something about 12 eye infections a year with chiropractic since birth, and then the zones came in. As long as I knew her, had 0 eye infections. And the last thing I'm going to mention, and I'll explain how it does it, and as you mentioned in your title, hey, Harvey, a lot of chiropractors are putting their patients on gluten diet. Which is fine. If you don't want to eat gluten dairy, that's fine. No big deal. However, I just put out a Facebook Live, which Jim saw and referenced. One of my patients named Nigel, she actually lives about 3-hour drive from me. So that's dedication when you're driving 3 hours each way for a session that lasts less than 5 minutes. But she was allergic. She took I believe a cytotoxic blood test and was told she was allergic to 30 foods, including gluten and dairy. By the 4th zone session, she was eating all 30 foods on the list, including gluten and dairy, and digesting it perfectly, when before all 30 foods were really destroying her digestive system and resulting in horrible results and symptoms. After we cleared her zones, 4 sessions, 4 adjustments, was eating all 30. So the question is, why someone have hearing aids and they go away even after they've been adjusted for years? Why does someone have eye infections their whole life, then they go away? Why is someone able to eat those foods? I don't think Rigel ever got chiropractic before me, but the first 2 had, and the zones made the difference. As far as I know, I don't know if Rigel ever got adjusted before me. But why is the zone technique different? Here it is. It's very simple. I'm not even talking about like the metaphysical aspect. Forget that. I'm just talking physical. The chiropractic assumption in the safety pin cycle idea is the following. The safety pin cycle idea is that the brain is trying to send signals. Here's the brain. It's sending signals down the cord, and it's coming out the nerves to the cells of the body. The idea is if there's subluxations in the spine, the brain signal comes down the cord, but it gets interfered with, and then the wrong signal goes to the cell, and then someone could have a pulled muscle or asthma or upset stomach or whatever. And, that's why chiropractors get very good results. They put the bones in place. They relieve the subluxation, however they happen to find it. They open up the proper nerve flow, and the body can function properly. And, people, their muscle spasm goes away, and their digestion gets better, and their breathing gets better. Of course, chiropractic does that. But here's the thing. Chiropractors of every other technique that I'm familiar with, Gonstead, CBP, upper cervical, Thompson, motion palpation, et cetera, SOT. These techniques make the assumption that the brain is sending out the right signal in the first place. That's the assumption. The brain is sending out the right signal. The problem is only in the spine. So when you put the spine in place, the signal can go and the cells are fine. But the zone technique says that may not be so. The zone technique says, what if the brain itself is sending out the wrong signal to begin with? So who cares that now you've put the bones in place to open up the signal, because you're opening up a wrong signal? And that's why, again, here's a person who's getting adjusted since birth and has eye infections 12 times a year, and someone who's getting adjusted very specifically by upper cervical and has hearing aids. They can't hear, so something's not right. They come to the zones and their eye infections are gone and their hearing aids are gone. So the reason is because the zones can actually look at the brain and say what parts are functioning right and what parts aren't. And I'll be more specific. So the body is like an electrical machine. It's very interesting, actually. I mean, I think anyone who's watching this right now, I don't care if they're a carpenter, I don't care what they do for a living, would say, man, this part is interesting. The body is like an electrical machine. And a car battery has a positive pole and a negative pole. Well, the brain is the positive pole of the body, and the spinal cord is the negative pole of the body. Now, the zone technique, there's points in the back of the head. It's not like SOT. SOT, if anyone is going to talk about SOT, suboccipital fibers, SOT is great, but it's got nothing to do with it. SOT is 7 points across, 3 levels. That's 21 points, which tell you vastly different things. They're not talking about brain centers and systems of the body. The zone technique has 6 points across. There are connections from those 6 points to the 6 brain centers in the positive pole that control the 6 main systems of the body, which are the glandular system, that's every gland in your body. The eliminative system, that's everything that eliminates your toxins, sinuses, lungs, kidneys, arteries, etc. So basically, the brain's divided up into 6 parts. Each of the 6 parts of the brain control one of those 6 systems that I just talked about. The points in the back of the head connect to those 6 parts of the brain. So when I feel the back of the head, I can tell, the glandular center of the brain in the positive pole is not sending out the right signals to the glands of the body. So the glands of the body, A, cannot function right because they're not, that part of the brain is not able to monitor the glands properly and know what signals to send. And number 2, even if it could monitor it properly, because it's not balanced, it can't send the right signals. However, when the brain is balanced, the brain can evaluate the systems of the body properly and send the proper signals. So once you feel the back of the head and you know what's happening in the brain center, I'm not a brain surgeon. I can't cut in someone's skull and fix the centers that are there. However, I can stimulate the spinal cord in specific places in the negative pole, sends energy up the cord, resets the brain, and the brain is able to send the proper signals to the cells. And that's the difference. And that's why those things happen that I just talked about. Jim, I don't hear you. I see you, but you're muted.
Am I back? Okay. Yeah, there's a guy out here doing leaf removal or something, and he's got a leaf blower going, so it was really messing up the audio. But lawn maintenance is a thing too. So, but some of the things you said there really made me interested to tell people that you should expect miracles when you are dealing with any type of natural healing art, which is chiropractic. And so many times people don't know how they got switched from this removal process to a fixing process. And I had this guy come up to me at this event that I just did in the Front Range in Highlands Ranch. And he came up to me, Pete. He's like, "Hey, man, I've gone to a specialist. They did a scan of me with this ultrasound. They also did some other type of testing on me." He goes, "I think it's a herniation of something." I go, "Okay, so this is my explanation, what you just did." I go, "So there's a reason that it's called an organ system, because it's organized." And I go, "There's a spinal cord that goes down that has nerves that go to all these organs. So if there's some dysfunction going into this organ system, there's got to be something disorganized in the pattern that's getting to tell that through the nervous system." And I was like, so the chiropractor will check and see where you're disorganized. They'll make the adjustment. They'll put the body back into organization to where the body organizes properly with the organ system and your body starts functioning properly. Take my offer, go see this doc, and let's help you out.
I love that. And to anyone, a lay person or anyone can relate to that and understand that. It's quite logical.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, you have 24 vertebrae. Imagine if one of them is lodged out of the wrong place and pushing on the nerves that are going to that organ. We have a problem. And I said this after that. I go, so let me ask you one thing. You sound skeptical. I go, say you have an issue with your tooth right now, and who are you going to go see? He's like, oh, the dentist. I go, yeah, exactly. And I go, say you have a problem with your body. Who are you going to go see? He goes, I don't know. I go, well, I know that's a very confused world out there when it comes to taking care of our bodies. Some people think it's a diet that's going to help us. People think that it's going to be an MD that's going to save us with a little orange bottle of pills. I was like, so many people don't know who to go to or where to trust. And I go, that's the difference between me and everybody else. Is I'm going to tell you where to go to for trust and for value. And there's a reason that you don't go ask the guy over there that's pouring beer to fix your damn tooth. I go, because he didn't go to school to be a dentist. So don't ask your buddy to pop your damn back.
By the way, Jim, on that note, just talking about the zone school and the zone technique and the confidence it gives you when someone walks in with really anything, unless they're bleeding and stitches or whatever, or something like that. But when you mentioned the teeth, I've had not a ton, but I've had a few people come with gum problems as a chief complaint. Now, I don't know how many chiropractors have people walking in their office with a chief complaint of gum problems. But check this out. I had a woman come in. She had a problem with her gums. She went to, I believe it's called an endodontist. It's like a gum specialist. And he said, look, you need gum surgery because that's just where it's at. But she didn't want to get gum surgery, so she wanted to find another endodontist to kind of work with her. So she went to another endodontist, and he's like, yeah, you need gum surgery. I can't. There's really no way around this. Anyway, she went to 3 second opinions. So that's a total of 4 endodontists who told her she needed gum surgery. She came to me. I talked to her about the part of the brain that controlled her gums, the neck adjustments, nerve flow into her mouth. She was very open. It was great. She was like, oh, yeah, okay, let's do that. It makes total sense. And started coming to me. I didn't really give her any oral hygiene tips because quite frankly, I don't know any besides the obvious things, And her gums healed totally. She went back to, I think, the first of the 4, the one that originally told her. And he said, I don't understand this. I can't really believe it, but your gums are totally healed. You don't need any procedure. So that's a pretty cool chiropractic story. And again, that was
yeah,
if someone walks in with that and you can confidently handle that, the chiropractors wouldn't even know where to start. But if you do the zone school, you'll know where to start with that.
Well, the thing is there, Pete, is the body needs nothing extra in it. It just needs no interference. And that's an old chiropractic philosophy. And that's the thing. The guy's like, so much about this profession. I go, yeah, because I dove into it and I realized that there's something beautiful about it, that it was a healing art. And you just think that they pop your back. And I go, the philosophy around this profession is so amazing. That's actually his first question to me was, what's the difference between a PT and a chiropractor? And I explained to him that one was medically modeled and one takes referrals from MDs and they do rehab specialty and they are doctors, and the others are no drugs, no surgery, stand alone on an island and fight for what is real in the healing world. And the other ones were bought by the medical industry. I go, there's nothing wrong with either of them, but I was like, one is going to help you without drugs and the other will help you with drugs. One is in this camp, we're in this camp. I go, we go for vitalism and holism, and they go for compartmentalism and micromanaging systems. I go, when you go into a chiropractor, they're going to evaluate your whole nervous system. They're going to evaluate you for vertebral subluxation and find out where the nerves that are sending signals to your organs are off. I go, if you go get manipulated by a physical therapist, yeah, they're going to make a move on you and get something to go, but they didn't go to school for 7 to 9 years like a chiropractor does. So I laid all this out for him, and he was just fascinated. This dude is from the Netherlands. He didn't even know what the hell a chiropractor did. He's like, one of my colleagues told me I should go see one.
I'm actually, by the way, speaking of the Netherlands, and I don't know how many people you have who watch you, chiropractors in Europe or whatever, but I actually want to mention this. So this is important for the Netherlands and anyone around there in Europe. So in the zone school, we do live events. I teach the live events, and the live events are only for zone school students. However, I was invited to go to Amsterdam and Frankfurt, Germany. And just for the European seminars, just because we only have we only have about 370 or so students in the zone school now, but like I said, by December 31st, I have over 1,000. because we only have about 20 or 30 in Europe at the moment. I can't really fill up the European seminars the way I do when I do the US seminars. So just for the European seminars, at least for now, for 2019, most likely, I'm going to let any DC into those seminars, even if they're not enrolled in the zone school. So anyone who is a DC who is in Europe, preferably Netherlands, but Europe, it's so easy to get around, and you want to take a live event with me, there's one in the works for possibly mid-August in Amsterdam, and there's one in the works for October or November in Germany, I think in Frankfurt, and some other things also. So if anyone is a European DC who's not in the zone school but wants to take a seminar with me there, just email Dr. Pete, D-R-P-E-T-E, at zonetechnique.com, Dr. Pete at zonetechnique.com, and just say, hey, Pete, I want to take your European seminars. Please keep me posted. I mean, you should join the zone school too. It'd be the best decision you ever made in your healing career. But even if you don't join the zone school, you can come in. So I just wanted to mention that since Jim mentioned Amsterdam. And I've been in Amsterdam twice. The first time I was in Amsterdam was 1991. I actually had a full contact karate fight there, and I fought the middleweight world champ. I lost that fight, but anyway, this guy was so good that everyone he fought would just leave knocked out cold on a stretcher. It was, it was full contact. It was where you're trying to knock each other out. But I lost, but I just lost the decision. So Eurosport, which is kind of like ESPN in Europe, they actually interviewed me. They interviewed him too, but they interviewed, man, you just lost in the decision. You're the first person who didn't end up on a stretcher. So who fought this guy? So anyway, so that was the first time. And then I went to Amsterdam again more recently. But anyway, so I'm psyched for those European seminars. And I also want to say that, getting back to your first question about the zone technique and the brain centers, let's just put it like this. Listen, I know chiropractors get all kinds of great results who don't do the zone technique. There's miracles in chiropractic all the time, and I'm very happy for that. I think they happen more few and far between. But when you work with the zone technique and you're resetting the brain, it just happens like every day. And also it's that confidence when a person walks in with whatever to just be able to be like, yeah, no problem. Because like, for example, I had this girl come in, I think I might have mentioned this to you on a previous interview. I don't remember. She came in like 6 weeks ago. I forgot. She's about I think she's in her 30s, early 30s. So she was having massive gallbladder attacks frequently. And the medical doctor said, look, you have to have your gallbladder removed. I mean, he didn't say it's like emergency surgery. He didn't say you have to get your gallbladder removed today. But he's like, you're going to get your gallbladder removed in the next few weeks.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Close for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Imaging Services, Chiro Thin, Universal Tractioning Systems, Chiro Moguls, Zingit Solutions, Dr. Pete Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Rhino Coaching, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Chiro Health USA, Max, Mahalo Wellness, and Chiro Expert. Let's hustle.
She came to me. It's pretty cool. Chief complaint, Jim. She didn't come for like neck pain and then I convinced her. She came on, on her entrance form. She's like, I heard about you. And she said she wanted to keep her gallbladder and she knew I could fix it, or whatever the terminology she used. And I was like, yeah, no problem. But Jim, here's what I got the part of her brain that controls her gallbladder. That's very powerful. Anyway, and end of the story is actually accepted her yesterday, I think. And she's fine. There's no more gallbladder attack. She's not getting her gallbladder out. She's going to keep her gallbladder. She probably is one of the healthiest gallbladders in California. So now, am I saying that no other chiropractic technique could do that? No, maybe there's an AK doctor who could do that. I'm not saying, but I know I could do it every time. And when you know the zone technique, when a person comes in with that, it's as easy for me to take care of that as it is to stiff neck.
Well, you're saying some stuff here, Pete, and I think that the chiropractic audience is probably being like, well, this zone technique sounds pretty awesome. I know if you guys are interested, click the link up there. It says listen to Dr. Pete, click there. But I think, Dr. Pete, when you're telling people these stories, it's not a system of like removing anything from your current practice. And
Good point.
And chiropractic students, it's not something that you have to have a technique battle with your professors about. You don't have to have a technique war with your clubs. You don't have to like wonder if this is the right thing for you. It's something that's going to enhance the way that you analyze, detect, and correct vertebral subluxation.
On that note, I just want to say one thing. I have a student in the zone school. He's a great guy. I like him a lot. He actually happens to live near me. So he's one of the few zone school students that I see in person. He is a very, very, very successful AK doctor. Very successful. Now, he's interesting, and I'll tell you why. Most of the people who join zone school, even if they were super high-level AK, super high-level functional medicine, super high-level chiropractic neurology, super high-level upper cervical, once they learn what I'm teaching them, they drop all that stuff. They become 100% zone technique and all the other principles of healing I'm teaching. And they tell me, hey, Pete, I spend 3 minutes with a patient instead of half hour, and I get 50 times better results. I hear that all the time. However, there's one exception that I want to mention, and it goes to what you said. There's one guy's in the zone school, great guy, I like him a lot. And he is a very successful AK doctor, very successful. He took the zone school, loves it. He actually combines them. I mean, again, listen, I'm all about results. Whatever gets amazing results, I'm all for. And it just happens, unlike most of my other students, he has retained his AK protocol. He loves it. And he mixes it with his, not mix, I don't know if that's right, it's mix. He combines it with the zones, and he is immensely successful. And I see Tim McFadden says 100%. He knows what's up. And he's immensely successful. And like you said, you could do whatever you're doing and just enhance it. And I'll also say that the zone technique is just the physical aspect of what I'm teaching. I'm teaching the principles of healing at the highest level on the planet at the moment. And I welcome anyone to check that out. And you can do whatever you're doing with the principles of healing that I'm going to teach, and your results will become much better. You know, a lot of chiropractors will say things like, and I respect this, it's cool. I'm just pointing out, if a person comes in with a gallbladder thing, they might say, hey, listen, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but at least we can relieve your subluxations. It'll give you a better chance, which is fine. I respect that kind of interaction. I'm just saying, like, you can really take it to a much higher level. And like I said, knowing that helping that person keep their gallbladder is like, you know, fixing a stiff neck. It's nothing to me. So
it's expecting miracles. And that's just it, is when you clear out the nervous system, chiropractic. I had this talk in Boulder like 2 years ago now, maybe a little bit longer, but I was speaking to the Mile High Chiropractic Philosophy Group. And I went up there and I said, it's called unity through diversity. You guys all do something a little bit different, but you're all chiropractors, so support each other. And I go, your technique might be awesome and you get people better, but if I went to the guy right next to you that's eating with you right now, he would adjust me differently. If I went to the gal right over there and I got checked, she would adjust me differently. So I said, all chiropractic works. Now it's time to start supporting each other and to start doing a better job at communicating this to the people that need it, not bickering amongst ourselves. So I think the real thing is just to let people know that there are solutions to check, correct, and adjust more effectively. And I think the big problem, Pete, is two things. Number one, people are like, damn, I got people better too quick. Number two, I got to go back to school and learn more shit.
Well, hey, let me comment on that. I want to get everyone better. For me, I get everyone better in one adjustment, I'm happy. That's number one. And number two, you definitely don't like. Again, I'll quote one guy. I had one doctor who I taught. He was this particular doctor. I think he was like an AK instructor for like. He's one of the top AK instructors like in the country. He literally knew chiropractic neurology as well as anyone I ever met. Not that I've met them all, but I'm just telling you, chiropractic neurology, this guy was super high level. And functional medicine, he knew his stuff. And he learned from me. He dropped all of it, became 100% zone technique. Instead of spending 45 minutes with someone, or half hour per visit, was now spending 3 minutes. And to quote him directly, this is a direct quote at what he said to me: Pete, the less I think about neurology, the better results I get now that I've met you. That now that he knows the zone technique, quote, and this is a chiropractic neurologist at the highest level, the less I think about neurology, the better results I get. That's what he said.
I think that so much has to do with that. And a lot of the chiropractors out there, they want to also take care of people, like we mentioned. Yes, Harvey, you can eat that. And they want to remove things from people's diets, and they want to do these removal processes rather than work on the source, which is the human, which is working on the actual thing and not the things that the human's putting into itself. And I think that so many times we look for what is the trigger thing that's happening, these type of things going on the downstream effect, which is symptomatology, but what's going on with the source. And I love that. That's the part about the zone technique that I love, is that you look for the source issue. How do I get this thing to connect better? How do I send the signal down to the organized organ system? How do I send the system to the organized zone center of the brain? How do I get the thing to reorganize organically, then start removing stuff out and letting the body having a better chance of doing what it's supposed to do, is be a human and actually function the right way. And yeah, like I said, chiropractic is pretty phenomenal when people have pain, because I tell people all the time, pain is a hell of a motivator. It will get you to do stuff that you wouldn't want to do or ever do. But when people do get to that cycle, they start expecting a miracle. When they show up to see you, Pete, they do get that miracle, and they're like, holy cow, it wasn't about anything that I could have taken orally. It wasn't about anything that I had to get taken out of me. It was just about balancing out my body and allowing it to heal the right way. And that's what I love.
By the way, Jim, you mentioned something in your last comments, which I like. I forgot exactly how you said it, but you said that basically chiropractors are getting to the actual cause, the source. So I'm going to go a little one further, D.D. Palmer style. A lot of chiropractors do say, hey, we don't treat symptoms, we adjust causes, right? That's a chiropractic way of saying it, is we don't treat symptoms, we adjust causes. And the cause is a subluxation. So when we adjust the subluxation, let's say someone has horrible digestion. This person has horrible, I'm not even talking about the zone technique right now, just regular chiropractic. Someone has horrible digestion, I adjust the subluxation. I'm not treating the symptom, but when I open up the nerve flow, their digestion can be good. So I agree. But what about this? D.D. Palmer, the founder of chiropractic, no one knows more about chiropractic than D.D. Palmer, because he founded it. He invented it. He defined it. No one knows more than him. D.D. Palmer said there's 3 causes of subluxation. He called trauma, poison, autosuggestion. First of all, when he said if you know the real definition of autosuggestion, he should have said negative autosuggestion, but it's okay. It doesn't make a difference. He's talking about physical, chemical, and emotional stress. That's another way of putting it. Now, I've been doing this for a while. I would say that if someone said to me, Pete, what percentage of what subluxates people or gets people sick, right, or dis-ease comes from physical stress, chemical stress, or emotional stress? Well, I would say it's 95% plus emotional stress and 5% or less combined physical or chemical stress. That's my opinion. Doesn't make a difference. Some people may differ with me. I don't care. But anyway, I would say it's 95% plus emotional. So here's the point. If someone is habitually angry or jealous or worried or hateful, self-hate, hate of others, chronically afraid, self-condemning. I mean, everyone's human. Everyone feels those things here and there. But I'm saying if they really are chronically on that path, guess what? That causes subluxation. D.D. Palmer said it. I didn't say it. D.D. Palmer said it. So if you want to talk about the real cause of dis-ease, here's the dis-ease, here's the subluxation. You think you're adjusting the cause. The cause is above the subluxation, and that is as D.D. Palmer put it, negative autosuggestion. But if someone is habitually angry, you can adjust them all day long. I mean, their digestion's still going to suck. So in the zone school, I will teach you how to, I'm not talking, you can still spend 3 minutes with a patient. I will teach you ways to address the person physically, mentally, and spiritually. And by the way, that's why the word holistic is so misused. So let me explain why. This is physical healing. This is mental healing. This is spiritual healing. D.D. Palmer talked about it all the time: body, mind, soul healing, physical, mental, and spiritual healing. Or you can call it physical healing and metaphysical healing. Meta meaning above or beside or beyond the physical. So when you're working with a patient and sometimes someone says like, oh yeah, I go to this holistic doctor or a holistic chiropractor or a holistic acupuncturist. You say, really? Why is that a holistic chiropractor? It says right on their sign, holistic chiropractor. Well, they say they're holistic chiropractor, but really when you ask them, why are you holistic? They go, oh, well, this is all natural healing, no drugs, no surgery, just adjust subluxation. It's holistic. First of all, the fact that there's no drugs and no surgery and it's subluxation relief, I love that. It's beautiful. Nothing to say, but it's beautiful. However, it's not holistic. That's natural physical healing. This is physical healing. That's natural physical healing. Holistic means whole person, body, mind, soul, physical, mental, spiritual. You know, if someone says to themselves that they're their body, if you think you're your body, if you look in the mirror and you look at this and you think this is you, you'll always be afraid because you think you're something which is very impermanent because it has a beginning and an end, and you'll always be afraid. Now, if someone says something like, well, I mean, I may be my body, but at least I have a soul. I mean, that's also, I guess it's a step in the right direction, but it's not what D.D. Palmer was talking about. What you would say more correctly is, I am a soul, which has no beginning and no end. I just happen to have a body. So anyway, the point is, if you want to call yourself a holistic chiropractor, a holistic healer, you have to know how to address the whole person, body, mind, soul, and not just be a natural physical healer. Now, if someone says, oh no, well, I just am a natural physical healer, no drugs, no surgery, just subluxation relief, that's cool. You are a natural physical healing. You are a natural physical healer. Congratulations, good for you. But that's not holistic healing. Holistic is only when you address the whole person, body, mind, soul. And in the zone school, you will know how to do that. Now, I see Tim McFadden made a few comments. I don't know if he's still on. I see Josh Longo's on. He's in the zone school. These guys will tell you they are learning true holistic healing and how to address someone on a physical and metaphysical level very quickly. And anyway, the bottom line is, even after I gave that little 3-minute speech I just gave, someone might have loved it, someone might have hated it. Results. That's all that matters, results. You got to start asking yourself, I mean, Jim, we have people flying into my office from 20 freaking different countries. You got to ask people flying in from all over the world. What's that about? I have about 80 people, probably 100. I'm going to say 80. 80 people driving 4 and 5 hours each way. People driving 8 hours, 10 hours a day, for one trip for a 3-minute session. It's because of the results. So all these things I'm saying on a physical level about brain centers, on a metaphysical level, on the body, mind, soul, holistic healing part, whatever. People can think whatever they want, but at the end of the day, it's about results. And people are not flying in from all over the world and driving all that way for nothing. So anyway, that's what's up.
I'm going to take it away from the chiropractor's power for a minute, and I'm going to give it back to the patient. And it's about thoughts, traumas, and toxins. And most of the times, the chiropractor is dealing with their own thoughts where they don't have confidence and they're not delivering the goods because they don't know if what they're doing is working properly. And they went to school for X amount of years and the schools told them to refer people out and they're not taking care of people the right way, number one. And then the second thing is that the most critical subluxation in the body is the one above the atlas, like you just mentioned. We have above atlas subluxation that's chronic in the chiropractic profession with the practitioner. And then we're talking about the metaphysical approach of the actual person getting care, having that type of dysfunction going on in their body. So now we have a person delivering care with this above atlas subluxation to a person with an above atlas subluxation. So we can't really hit that plane the right way. So really what I love most about what you're saying, Pete, is people fly from 20 countries and drive 5-10 hours a day to see you is because of your high level of confidence with your certainty and the procedures that you follow. And one of the other things that we've talked about on other lives is that you put people's issues to rest. You put them away, you allow them to go back into that body that can then, if it wants to, take on more trauma. It can take on more poor thoughts if it wants to, but it's going to have a better chance of dealing with those when the zones are balanced. And I think that that's something that's critical for people to understand, is that this only enhances your systems as a chiropractor, and it will only give you that much more certainty, grow your practice, by knowing that when people come see you for whatever myriad of issues that they have, that you're going to be able to say, okay, now I'm going to evaluate you. Now I'm going to get you adjusted, and I'm going to see you again. But this first one is going to possibly change your life, and have the confidence to tell people that.
You know, it's funny when you use the word confidence. I'll tell you something. When I started the zone school, there's something that I didn't even, it's not that I didn't expect it. I just never even thought about it. It never crossed my mind, but I heard it so many times and I still hear it. It's pretty cool, actually. I'll tell you what it is. When I started the zone school, I was only a few months into it. I kept getting the following feedback. And like I said, it was very great to hear, but it didn't even occur to me I would get this feedback. And this is what it was. A lot of chiropractors said, Pete, now that I'm in the zone school, you're so freaking confident. The vibration of that confidence has come into me. And I literally just go to work using your confidence and I get amazing results. And then eventually it kind of became my confidence. That's what they told me. So again, I never made the zone school to like make people more confident. It wasn't like on my list. I was just trying to give people knowledge of healing at the highest possible level to get incredible, amazing healing results. That was it. And then I realized that people are walking into their office with 100 times more confidence than they used to. So I'm glad you used that word, because that's just what happened inadvertently.
Well, Pete, I have to jump in 2 minutes, so I'm going to say thanks, man, for being on with me today. Zone School of Healing, click on the link above. I just got to be on schedule for my next interview. I expected us to go maybe 30 minutes. We went about 45 minutes. So always love bringing you on, man. I love talking to you about chiropractic. I know that we unlock a lot of doors for people when it comes to what's going on upstairs above the Atlas. And I just want to say thank you for everybody that's jumped on with us today. Thank you, Tim McFadden, for the comments today. If you guys are watching right now, you made it this far, just comment where you guys are watching in from. If you guys got value from this conversation today, hashtag value. If you guys have made it this far into the interview, please hashtag replay if you watched it on replay. Love and appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Is that okay, Dr. Pete?
Thank you, Jim. And anyone who wants to join the zone school,
click the link above.
I believe Jim has the link above. I'd love to have you as a student. I can help you. I will help you. And I'll see you soon.
You guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. See you on the next one. Thanks, Dr. Pete.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.